I wish someone had told me, like, when you first get into trucking, it's going to be fun starting off. And it is. When you first start off in trucking, trucking gives you a high in the beginning that makes you feel good about going to work. The way trucking starts off when you first come out of school, you think it's going to be all pictures and cream. Like, when you first start off, it's fun. It's only fun because it's something new. No one told me that once you get into trucking, you're a good couple years in, a couple months in, you start to get to a point where it's start to become repetitive. Like, it's like the same thing over and over again. And I get it. You can go to work and feel the same way as when you go to a job. But this is the problem when it comes to trucking. The things about trucking, it also gives you the insinuation of thinking, like, when you're with a company, the average you get is always going to stay consistent. It's up and down. It's up and down. You go through up and down times in trucking. I did not know that when I first got into trucking. I'm damn near 11 years in now, so I understand it now. But in the beginning, trucking did not feel like it was a job. It felt like it was a fun opportunity that gave me a way to be able to get paid pretty good. And then as time go on, you realize that the dangers and the ups and downs that you go through in trucking. Like, when I first started off in trucking, I started off with Lion Haul. And the thing is, with Lion Haul, I did not know. I thought to myself that Lion Haul, I'm going to be home every day. I'm cool. It's all going to be good. I don't have to worry about nothing else. I did not know that Lion Haul is not that much different from being over the road, except you're not sleeping inside your truck and you're going home. But the problem is with that is when it comes to Lion Haul, I went in at work at 8. Problem is with that is I had to be at the terminal a little early. That way I can leave out the terminal at a certain time. Because this is the thing about Lion Haul. When you're doing Lion Haul, you'll be out driving and you don't even realize when you're doing Lion Haul that if you take all day to get that load to that destination, it's going to make your morning way tougher. People don't talk about that. I found out that I can take all the stops I need, but this is where you're going to suffer. When you coming back and you trying to make it back to the terminal, and you like, yo, I'm tired, I'm beat down. You realize you beat down because you done bullshitted all night, going to all the rest stops, getting coffee, getting something to eat, and then by the time you make it to the terminal, now you like behind. Now you sitting there like, damn, I'm getting sleepy, I'm getting tired. Once you get back to the terminal, then what? You clock out, you go home. Sometimes you might have to take a nap in the car before you make it home. I'm being real. I had to do that. Because when you drive all night for 5-6 hours, your body is so beat down from driving throughout the night. When it's time to go home, if you don't live real close, you might have to pull over and take a little nap. Maybe a good 20-30 minute nap. And then make your way home. That way you can be safe. But these are the things that no one told me when I first got into trucking. And these were the things that kind of hurt me because I realized once I was a good 2 months in, I was like, yo, I am not built for this Lion Haul. Lion Haul seemed sweet. It seemed easy because it's easy money. But I'm going to tell you where it don't become easy. When you start getting fatigued. Driver's fatigue is real. You'll be behind the wheel. Next thing you know, you sitting there. Now you sitting like, oh man, I gotta wake up. I gotta wake up. You start doing silly stuff inside your truck. Or you start getting your energy drinks. I don't have none in here. You get your energy drinks. You don't have food with you. So now you can stop. You want to get something to eat so you can get a little bit more energy. But what tends to happen is this is something that becomes repetitive. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over again to the point it starts to become boring. And this is one of the things that made me realize that I couldn't stay doing that. And this is why I say trucking sometimes can feel like a good job, which it is. But it depends what you're doing. A lot of times when people chase trucking, they look at trucking as the first start of, oh, I'm going to be able to make money. How much money do you make starting off? You don't want to look at it that way. I started to realize that you don't want to look at trucking in a way of how much money am I going to make starting off, because what's going to happen is it's going to leave you in a point where as though you're like, yo, I'm not feeling this job. I'm not liking this. And the only reason why you're not liking this is because when you're starting off, you want to make so much money, but you got to remember, you're the low man on the totem pole. You cannot make all this money starting off in trucking. You got to start from the beginning. When you with these companies, you have to really prove yourself. That's why you're on a probation. And when I was on probation, I end up going into a ditch because I tried to turn the truck around. It's beginner's error. Like when you first get into trucking, you do silly stuff that you think makes sense. Then once you've been in the game for at least a couple years, you realize that certain things that you do out here in the trucking field is stupid. But you only realize this later on. That's why you got to have time in trucking before you start thinking that you know what you're doing. Like doing Lion Haul, I did not understand the J brake. I understand it now. See, when you in truck driving school, they tell you all the things to do, but nothing prepares you for it when you pulling doubles and the wind is blowing crazy. And then you start feeling that back trailer moving, or you feel like you dropping down a hill and you picking up all this speed when your truck is governed at 65 miles, but you picking up speed almost up to 90. And you nervous thinking, yo, I need to slow down, not understanding that, yo, focus on the road. What's going on? How you doing? What's up, Chaney? What's up, Ab? So when you're focusing on the road, you'll realize that, oh, hold up. Let me see what's going on, scope the whole road, and as I'm going down the road, you're paying attention and you know how to kind of pump your brakes a little bit to slow it down. You know what I mean? Oh, appreciate the sub, appreciate the love. So when you're looking at stuff like that, you have to understand and take into consideration that when you're a beginner driver, you got to take puppy steps. You can't be out here thinking that this truck driving thing is really easy. It's not. I done seen a lot of people be unalived off of driving reckless. Like my first time I ever seen somebody get killed, and it terrified me because I seen it happen and didn't know that it happened. Like the story, I was on my way to the Poconos. I was with XPO at the time. And when I had this run, it was considered the Milton, PA. So when they consider a certain run something, they call it the next town over. I don't know why these truck companies do that. I don't know why. Instead of calling it the Poconos one, it was called Milton, PA. I didn't know it was the Poconos, but I knew the ride was long. So in the midst of driving that far, I'm driving. I seen this truck. It might have been maybe about a mile up the road. While that truck was a mile up the road, I'm driving behind the truck. And as I'm driving behind that truck, I see the lights disappear. What I seen was the truck went over the mountain, or whatever how the Poconos is. It's like mountains and stuff like that. It went over. Well, since I was like almost 2 miles back, at nighttime, you can see a truck good at nighttime because even with 2 miles up, you can see the back of the lights. Well, in the midst of seeing the back of the lights, when I seen them disappear, I said to myself, damn, they must have been haul ass. In my eyes, I'm like, yo, they must have been going fast, like super fast. Well, in the midst of me thinking that they went super fast, I didn't realize till I was coming back that morning. It was around about maybe close to 6 in the morning when I seen the cops and everything with that crane trying to grab the truck. And then that's when I realized, oh, damn, dude went over. I didn't know at first because it's at nighttime. And you know, at nighttime, when you're driving at night, if you don't know the route, you stay your butt right on the road and keep it moving. You know, and going up in these areas, these dark rural areas, it's cool, but it become lonely and boring. Yeah, yo, I'm telling you, like, yo, in these stories, like, that's why I tell you, when you driving out here, when you see certain stuff, it'll make you wake up and realize that it's real out here. Like, I seen a high-speed chase when I was on the PA Turnpike. I was driving, and you ever notice when you're on the highway, you can see if somebody driving crazy. So I look in my rearview mirror. I said, damn. Like this person going fast as I don't know what, because I could see a little bit of their light. Next thing you know, when I looked, their light was like halfway. Next thing you know, I looked, he was like, yo, it had to been going to maybe about 105. I'm gonna say maybe between 100 to 120, because the vehicle went by me so quick. It shook me, and I was like, damn. Like, if you ever had a car go past you super super fast, over 100, it's going to wake you up. So when he went past me, he was in a Jeep. In a Jeep, the worst vehicle, the worst type of vehicle you want to be driving in, going that fast. You don't want to be going that fast in a vehicle like that. I say within maybe an hour later, I caught up to the vehicle. Well, I'm not going to say I caught up. I got up to the vehicle when the cops already must have did a pit maneuver or he flipped. I don't know what happened. But they was on him. And all they got to do is ready or win. When they ready or win, they already on you. And that's another problem people don't understand. When you're on these high-speed chases, all the state troopers do is ready or win. They're going to get you. They waiting on you. So in the midst of me getting, maybe an hour later, I ran into, well, not ran into him, but seen him. He was over in a ditch. Flipped over. It was a bunch of state troopers. I seen the ambulance and everything. And you know what I mean? And I was like, damn, they got him. But I don't know if I'm pretty sure he made, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just end up getting up to the car after an hour later, after it already passed me. Because remember, it's going over 100 something miles an hour. And that was that high speed chase. I also seen where as though I dozed off. That was the thing that made me quit. When I was with XPO, I thank God that they had the sensors in the truck. And they didn't have, they had these sensors that was in the door well. What's going on? Oh, appreciate the sub. Appreciate the sub and appreciate the love on here too. Appreciate it. They had sensors inside the door. So what happened was I was getting sleepy. Now I'm gonna tell you this now. When you're in truck driver school, they tell you literally, if you're dozing off, find an exit or a way to get off the road and get yourself together. I decided to ignore that I learned in school, what they told me. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna make it to the next exit to stop at the rest stop so I can get a coffee. Well, second time sleep hit me. I was like, oh shit, I'm alert. I started doing this in the truck. And then I rolled the window down. It don't work. So in the midst of doing that, I'm like, oh man, I got a half a mile. And I'm gonna get off the exit at the rest stop and I'm gonna get me a coffee. We all been there that been driving. Soon as I said to myself, I'm gonna get off at such and such exit, I'm talking to myself in my head. Why did I wake up 15 minutes later? What happened was I happened to be going straight. That's what saved me. I was going straight and I must have dozed the third time. And as I dozed, I must start skipping lanes. And I'm gonna tell you about XPO. As I'm skipping lanes, when I tell you I felt very peaceful, I'm not gonna even lie to you though. That's what scared me. I was so knocked out. Like once the dog, I don't even remember. That's how bad it was. I went like that, and then next thing you know, I heard, woo! Dog, when that shit went off, I jumped up and I was like, oh, I didn't even know where I was at. I forgot I was driving. I opened my eyes. I see on my pad, it's like a little pad. I know the sign-in pad with the the driver's log. It was saying, didn't say collision. I think it said driver alert. Whatever it said something. But this was ringing in the door well. Something else in the truck. It was like it was almost like a 360 type of alarm where it alerted me. And it said, driver alert. No, I skipped 3 lanes. I must have been in I think I was in the right lane. I must have skipped all those lanes and started drifting. It went off and it caught me before I hit the guardrail. Oh, when I tell you, when that happened, I went to after I realized that I ain't even jerk. I just looked and I said, "Oh shit, damn! I'm in the third lane." Then I looked at the guardrail. I said, "Damn, I was about to hit the guardrail." I went over to the middle lane, and then next thing you know, I was like saying to myself, "But damn, I'm gonna make it to the exit." Do you know I passed the goddamn exit? That means then I realized I was knocked out for about a good maybe about 10 minutes. And if you think I'm lying, I'm gonna tell you how you know how I knew I was out for 10 minutes. I passed the exit far, 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 to the point my truck was driving straight. So you will kind of understand what happened is I was on the PA Turnpike. I think I might have been on the PA Turnpike. Or I was on one of the turnpikes where there wasn't that many turns. I don't know which one. Because I used to take the New Jersey or the PA. So I kind of get them confused. But the PA Turnpike got a bunch of turns. The Jersey Turnpike don't have a lot of turns. It's a lot of straight, lot of straight driving. So I might have been on the Jersey. But yo, when I opened my eyes and I realized maybe after a couple minutes that I was knocked out for at least a good 10 minutes, I pulled over, yo. I pulled over all my life. I pulled over. I got out the truck on the side of the road. I walked to the front of the truck. And I just took a deep breath. And I was like, oh, God. I cannot believe that just happened. Now I'm up now. I'm up now. I'm up. I text my wife. I text her. I sent her a text. She responded maybe an hour later because it's early in the morning. She responded, and at that time, she was pregnant with my son. Next thing you know, she said, yo, what's wrong? I said, yay, if you can, ASAP, do up a letter right now in my resignation. She said, are you serious? I said, yeah. I'm going for something local. And in the midst of telling her that, she thought I was bullshit. And I said, no, send it. I want to get it to me in the next 30 minutes so I can send it. Do email. She did that. I did my resignation with XPO. Now, mind you, XPO was a good company. Don't get it twisted. It's a good company. But Lion Hall was not for me. And these are the things that I think a lot of people don't really talk about or know these stories, because a lot of times if you know these stories of people, when people actually sit down and talk about these stories, because the thing is, you hear about these stories on the news during a casualty. When you normally hear a story and it's a casualty that happened with a death, it sparks something in you to say, damn, what was going on in that truck? You never know how it is till you actually do the job. And when you actually do a job and you go through it, like, you understand that truck driving is more difficult than what you think it is. It is difficult. It's a fatigue job. A job where you sitting your ass down and you will get fatigued. Reason why I don't get fatigued is because I do stop and go. Normally, I don't do a run like this where I'm just sitting. And it's cool. But to do this every once in a while, but the thing is, this is no harm. I doze off right now. I wake up. I'm good. At the end of the day, I'm still able to do my job. I'm still able to do my thing. But when you're doing that over the road and everything, and you're doing all these things out here, where you going across multiple states, that is not for the weak. It is not. And another thing, man, that people don't do, you have to bring with you water. If you need a mint, I bring mints. I like to eat on mints and stuff like that. I like to stay fresh. I bring a little trail mix or something like that. See, I got right here a coconut juice. I try to eat and drink stuff that are healthy. Cause Team E, shout out from the San Francisco Bay, baby area. You know it, baby. Tell them, yo, Lion Hall difficult, ain't it? Especially late nights. Dog, don't late. Damn, I'm loud. My fault, y'all, if I'm super loud. I apologize. I'm a hyper person, yo. Live chat. There we go. Shout out, baby. Yeah, but Lion Hall is difficult. That's why I take my head off the Lion Hall, because the thing is, with me with PD, I wait on Lion Hall. Lion Hall is the backbone of all trucking companies. And if you're not Lion Hall, then you over the road. So over the road is one. Lion Hall is two. After that is PD. Maybe regional I consider as like OTR, because regional they try to call it different stuff, but regional driving is you out for at least a couple days. You're not, you kind of over the road, but you sleep in a hotel, so you know what I mean. It is what it is, but it's difficult out here, man. Like that's why I take my hat off to people that be out here doing their thing, out here driving. That shit is not for the weak. It's not. Like if people, I remember I heard somebody one time say this. They say, "Yo, these truck drivers don't know how to drive. They be rearing off of the road and drifting out the lanes." And I told him, I said, "Yo, you know why?" I said, "Yo, driving a truck for multiple hours, you could not be sleepy, but you start to suffer fatigue. Whereas though you need to pull your ass over and get out the truck and get that blood flowing." Like you, that's why I say sometimes, like even sometimes, like on my run, I might have an hour drive somewhere to deliver something. I will stop out. I would not stop out. I will stop, pull over, and stop at a Wawa and go grab a coffee just to get a little bit of caffeine, just to get around the truck, get out the truck, get that blood flowing. That's the problem. Like when you sit down for long periods of time, when you in this trucking thing, you start to become a little stagnated, and to the point it will fatigue you. You would do something stupid. You know, you don't want to do that. You want to be alert. That's the thing about this game. You have to be alert out here. And when you're not alert, it becomes a problem. It just does. What's up, baby girl?
Hi.
Hey, you.
How's work
Oh,
going?
nothing. Hold up. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to call you right
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, I'm going to end. Hey, look, that's my baby girl. I want to talk to her. But look, y'all, if y'all want any advice or anything on trucking, schools to go to, things that of encouragement that you looking to do, let me know. Hit me in my in the message. You know what I mean? But if you like and subscribe, I appreciate it and I love y'all for that. But I'm gonna come back on live later on. But look, be safe out here, all right?